The Watchers call. From the darkness, we observe.
The chronometer reads 0347.M42, though the numerals flicker to display dates 3 centuries hence before snapping back with mechanical precision. I am Commissar Militant Kalen Vex, attached to the 322nd Penal Legion, Forgotten, documenting an administrative impossibility that violates fundamental Imperial record-keeping protocols. This morning's muster aboard the prison transport, Penitent's March, recorded 3,247 active personnel. Tonight's count returned 3,256 souls, 9 additional Legionnaires who cast no shadows beneath the ship's lumens. The extra 9 maintain perfect formation during evening inspection, their uniforms regulation correct, posture exemplary. They respond to roll call with names absent from every Imperial database. Trooper Caney 97, Corporal Thess 91, Sergeant Dawn 94. Their dog tags bear serial numbers in obsolete format, alphanumeric sequences discontinued after the Macharian Crusade. The metal is genuine Imperial issue, authenticated by the ship's aurspecs, yet the machine addressed me with a designation I have never held. Phantom Overseer, subsection null. I have processed 14 penal legions across 27 years of service, overseen 1,847 executions, and understand the weight of maintaining discipline among the damned. What defies comprehension is how 9 men can occupy space without casting reflections in polished surfaces, speak with voices that register on Vox recorders, yet leave no breath fog on viewing ports, stand in formation while existing in no official capacity. The ship's machine spirits whisper wrong hymns through the ducting. Instead of standard operational litanies, they chant 9-beat binary sequences, 0100100010, 0100100010, 0100100010. The pattern repeats endlessly, harmonizing with the soft chiming from my collar every 9 seconds. Regulation specifies silence from overseer equipment, no unnecessary sounds that might compromise discipline among condemned personnel. Yet my collar maintains mechanical precision, a gentle tone resonating through corridors, like a metronome counting toward unknown crescendo. Our destination is Korath 9, a mining moon housing administratum processing station, Sigma 7. Orders specify investigation of communications blackouts beginning 47 days ago, restoration of contact with station personnel, and ensuring continued operation of critical administrative functions. The Legion's punishment duty involves clearing blocked mining shafts, maintaining equipment in hazardous conditions, performing dangerous labor that keeps the Imperium's bureaucratic machinery functioning. The extra 9 never break formation. During meal distribution, they stand in line but receive no rations. During rest periods, they maintain position while others sleep. During weapons inspection, they present arms bearing no serial numbers, lasguns humming, with power cells showing no energy readings on diagnostics. They exist in spaces between regulation and reality, filling formation gaps that should not exist while following orders, never given. Tech Adept Dorus reports the cogitators hum like harvest season, every 9th pulse releasing fragments of names through the servitor choir, rippling coolant as if the ship remembers men who never boarded. The Enginarium's hymnals answer in crisp 9-beat measures, and between every 9th footfall, the deck plates emit tones just below comfort, just above prayer. I observe Legionnaires counting breaths in squads of 9, tapping gauntlets to collars in shared rhythm like superstition passed through blood. A corridor on deck 9 measured 90 meters yesterday by my stride. Today it requires 99. Bulkhead plaques at opposite ends disagree about which section lies beyond, both correct when approached. I ordered the root-sealed pending purity seals, printed with fresh wax, and unambiguous words. The air tastes of machine oil and frost, feeling like a ledger awaiting entries. During rounds at a viewport, I watched void-scattered stars resembling pale ink drops on ledger pages. In their reflection, my face lagged movements by heartbeats, then 9, as if my image required processing before return. I recited the catechism of exactitude and marked discipline on my slate. Do not stare at glass. Glass stares back. Munitorum Cleric Hearts requested permission to perform the rite of subtraction over ranks to remove excessive souls. I denied authorization. Subtraction exceeds our mandate. Only accounting falls within jurisdiction. The accounting grows rich with anomalies. Men wake, having traded memories with bunkmates 3 cells distant. One convict, swearing his left hand, belonged to a dead sergeant, attempting perpetual salute. The extra 9 sit when commanded, stand when ordered, but between instructions they stare into middle distance with careful, listening poise loyal troops display toward commanders they cannot see. One smiled when Hards quoted regulations from manuals discontinued 2 centuries past, his teeth maintaining perfect regulation spacing. Korath 9 appears through armored viewports as we enter final approach, its surface glowing with bioluminescent fungi, pulsing in perfect synchronization with my collar's 9-second intervals. Mining installations should remain dark during off-duty cycles, per power conservation protocols. Instead, the entire moon radiates organic light following no natural pattern, waves of luminescence sweeping across terrain in 9-phase cycles. Processing Station Sigma 7 blazes with activity. Despite 47 days of communications, silence, every window showing recent use, those skeleton crews of 47 administrative personnel should maintain minimal operations. The transport's arrival klaxons sound as we enter final descent vector, but the pattern violates regulation. Instead of standard 3-tone sequence, alarms chime 9 distinct notes harmonizing with my collar's rhythm. For the first time since boarding, the extra 9 turn heads in unison, movements perfectly synchronized as they face viewports. Below, Korath 9's bioluminescent surface pulses brighter, fungi responding to our presence with increased luminosity, matching the klaxon's 9-note pattern. The landing struts of Penitent's March bite into Korath 9's receiving platform with hydraulic finality. Processing Station Sigma 7 blazes with operational luminosity, despite Imperial records confirming 0 registered personnel for 36 months, 14 days, 7 hours. The impossibility registers in my data slate as I lead the 322nd Penal Legion through entry protocols. Every system indicator shows full capacity operations, while official manifests declare the facility abandoned. Atmospheric processors hum the litany of pressure equalization. The air carries impossible scents, fresh recaf brewing in automated dispensers, heated synth rations steaming from serving stations, the metallic tang of recently cleaned weapons. These aromas suggest active personnel maintaining daily routines in spaces that should stand empty. My Auspex confirms only the Legion's biosignatures, yet displaced air currents indicate movement patterns of marching formations ahead of our advance. Corridor Sigma 7 Alpha extends precisely 99 meters by regulation stride count. The extra 9 Legionnaires maintain formation within our ranks, occupying gaps that feel naturally theirs despite violating standard Penal Legion organization. When Trooper Caney 97 responds to formation queries, his voice carries the hollow resonance of Vox transmission. Regulation 47 Alpha 9, Subsection 9, Personnel Classifications, pending administrative review, maintain standard operational posture until resolution. Mess Hall Primus operates beyond programmed parameters. Serving ladles move without operators, dispensing regulation portions onto plates that slide toward vacant chairs. Steam rises from meals consumed by invisible diners, leaving no traces except chairs pushed back at precise angles and condensation patterns on table surfaces, suggesting recent occupation. The automated systems function with inhuman efficiency. Nutrient paste formed into perfect portions, recaf dispensed in regulation quantities, cleaning servitors scrubbing tables recently vacated by personnel who cast no shadows. Tech adept Dorus interfaces with the station's primary cogitator, his mechadendrites sparking as data streams flood his neural implants. Commissar Militant, his vox-modulated voice reports. Throughput measures thousands of reports daily, all filed by administrative personnel, classification pending. The processing volume exceeds human capacity by factors of 9. The machine spirits respond with enthusiasm, bordering on reverence, their binary hymns harmonizing with our collar chimes in 9-beat sequences. Supply requisitions materialize on data slates without human input. Orders for 27,000 rounds of lasgun ammunition, 243 cases of rations, 81 replacement uniforms, all quantities divisible by 9, all exceeding station requirements for authorized skeleton crews. The documents bear authentic Imperial seals, regulation formatting, signatures that pass verification protocols despite describing supplies for personnel who officially don't exist. Environmental impossibilities escalate with each sector traversed. Shadows detach from their casters, stretching into geometries that violate natural law before snapping back with elastic precision. In polished chrome surfaces, reflections lag behind movements by 9-second intervals, showing faces I don't recognize, wearing uniforms of ranks I don't hold. My own shadow occasionally performs duties independently, filing reports, conducting inspections, while I stand motionless. The 9-beat motif saturates our environment completely. Duty rosters cycle every 9 hours rather than standard 12-hour Imperial shifts. Corridor lengths measure in multiples of 9 meters. Junction designations follow 999 numerical sequences. Every collar in the Legion chimes at 9-second intervals, creating subliminal percussion that coordinates our movements without conscious awareness. We march in step with mechanical rhythm, pause at intersections for precisely 9 seconds, speak in cadences matching the metallic percussion. Administrative office. 9 houses filing systems that update continuously without visible operators. Cabinets open and close with mechanical precision as documents sort themselves according to Imperial classification protocols. Personnel files appear in previously empty folders, complete service records for soldiers whose names match no databases, bearing authentic seals describing service in units that never existed. The paperwork processes itself with inhuman efficiency, stamped and filed by invisible hands, maintaining perfect bureaucratic order. Communication arrays process outgoing transmissions, despite 47 days of communications blackout. Message logs show routine reports filed with Sector Command, supply requests forwarded to appropriate departments, personnel updates submitted according to regulation schedules. The transmissions originate from terminals operated by phantom hands, their content composed in perfect high Gothic by authors who exist only in administrative records. Footsteps echo from empty boots, maintaining regulation formation ahead of our advance. The percussion follows standard marching cadence, left, right, left, but creates no visible displacement in dust patterns or atmospheric readings. Our Auspex detects only confirmed Legion biosignatures, while auditory sensors register additional personnel, maintaining perfect discipline in formations that cast no shadows under station lumens. The Extra 9 speak only when directly addressed, their responses delivered in monotone recitations of regulation numbers spanning centuries of Imperial military doctrine. They recite subsections from manuals discontinued before my birth, their voices arriving fractionally delayed, as if transmitted from distant administrative offices. Between orders, they maintain listening postures toward commanders they cannot see, their attention fixed on middle distances where phantom supervisors issue unheard instructions. In Personnel Processing Center 99, I discover the revelation that transforms impossibility into personal horror. A duty roster displays tomorrow's date, crossed out and replaced with temporal coordinates 9 years hence. 0356.M51. Names array in perfect columns, with roles and rotations listed in regulation format. My eye tracks automatically to familiar designation, finding my own name assigned as Phantom Overseer, subsection null. The position description matches no Imperial military designation, yet duties outlined correspond precisely to current activities. Overseeing penal legions, maintaining discipline among condemned personnel, ensuring administrative compliance during anomalous situations. My seal has already dried beneath the assignment in my own handwriting, ink I don't remember applying to parchment I've never seen. The roster includes the Extra 9 Legionnaires, their service records extending through centuries of continuous duty aboard vessels matching no Imperial registry, serving under commanders whose names appear in no official documentation. Archive Level 9 descends through security checkpoints into the station's bureaucratic heart, where air tastes of ancient parchment, machine oil, and metallic frost. The chamber stretches cathedral vast, its ceiling lost in shadows, while massive cogitator banks arrange themselves in 9 concentric circles around a central processing column that pulses with data light every 9 seconds. Each ring stands precisely 9 meters high, their brass fittings gleaming under lumens that flicker in 9-beat sequences, matching my collar's relentless chiming. Tech Adept Dorus interfaces with the primary archive terminal, mechadendrites crackling as centuries of accumulated data flood his neural pathways. His vox grill distorts with strain as processing cores hum the canticle of perpetual accounting, their binary hymns harmonizing with environmental percussion that now dominates every surface in the chamber. Commissar Militant, he reports, optical sensors widening with comprehension. This facility processes personnel variance incidents, soldiers who exist in administrative records but not reality, and conversely, reality-present personnel absent from official documentation. The ledger system's horrifying purpose crystallizes through data streams cascading across ancient cogitator screens. Every clerical error in Imperial military accounting creates phantom personnel. Soldiers accidentally listed twice, units never disbanded in paperwork, casualties continuing to receive orders through administrative oversight. Rather than correcting these errors, Processing Station Sigma-7 processes them, maintaining perfect bureaucratic balance by manifesting phantom soldiers to match erroneous records while converting excess reality-present personnel into administrative phantoms. Data entries follow rigid formatting. 9 fields containing name, rank, unit, status, location, classification, authorization, processing date, resolution code. Processing cycles run in 9-minute intervals, while archive sections spiral inward, following geometric patterns that hurt to perceive directly. Ancient servitors maintain filing systems with mechanical precision, their movements synchronized to 9-count sequences as they sort documents between reality-present and administrative phantom classifications. Millions of names bleed past in frozen procession. Trooper Xylos 7 declared killed in action on Damocles Gulf, yet drawing pay on Hydrofor. Sergeant Kalen 3 listed as active on Cadia, while recorded as deceased in forgotten administratum subsectors. These phantom legions continued drawing rations, receiving orders, filing immaculate after-action reports from battlefields that exist only in Imperial records. The scale exceeds human comprehension, entire regiments maintaining active status despite annihilation centuries past, their phantom personnel serving as placeholder formations in administrative databases. Personnel files materialize, displaying impossible service records. Colonel Thaddeus Corr, commanding the 88th Penal Legion from his grave, issuing orders through phantom communications, while his corpse maintains perfect military bearing in documentation that processes itself with inhuman efficiency. The paperwork sorts automatically, stamped and filed by invisible hands, maintaining bureaucratic order across circumstances that violate fundamental reality. Movement in Archive, Section 9, draws attention. A figure in pristine military dress uniform approaches with regulation stride. Sergeant Major Thane maintains exemplary posture, despite personnel records confirming his death 90 years past during the Siege of Vrax. His uniform shows no wear, insignia gleam with fresh polish, bearing exemplifying Imperial military perfection. He salutes with mechanical precision, movements timed to 9-second intervals. Commissar Militant Vex, Thane's voice carries hollow Vox transmission static. Regulation 234, Gamma 7 requires phantom personnel to report administrative status upon contact with reality-present supervisors. Classification: Administrative Phantom, Subsection Archive Management. Current assignment: Personnel Variance Resolution, Priority 9. Requisition Code 47 Alpha 997 for continued operational efficiency. His speech follows regulation format exclusively, each sentence structured according to Imperial military communication protocols. Between statements, he maintains listening posture toward commanders, visible only to phantom perception, receiving orders transmitted through administrative channels existing beyond physical reality. his eyes focus on middle distances where phantom supervisors conduct business in parallel bureaucratic dimensions. Environmental distortions escalate around Thane's presence. Shadows detach from surfaces to salute phantom officers. Filing cabinets open automatically, retrieving documents for invisible hands. Cogitators hum approval hymns when he approaches terminals. The 9-beat pattern synchronizes with his movements. Every stride, gesture, vocal inflection timed to mechanical precision, exceeding human capability. The phantom personnel multiply through administrative iteration, Dorus reports from archive terminals. Each processing cycle creates additional phantom soldiers, balancing Imperial record-keeping discrepancies. The extra 9 from our transport represent initial manifestation, phantom personnel materializing to fill gaps in official documentation. The revelation strikes with bureaucratic horror. Our transport's impossible passenger count wasn't anomaly, but systematic phantom manifestation beginning. The 9 additional Legionnaires serve as templates for further phantom creation, their consciousness providing behavioral patterns for administrative phantoms throughout Imperial military structure. Thane represents the system's ultimate efficiency. Death cannot interrupt administrative duty when consciousness transfers into data streams, maintaining perfect service records, while physical forms serve as biological terminals for phantom operations. He files reports in triplicate, processes personnel requests with inhuman accuracy, maintains discipline among phantom formations existing solely in Imperial documentation. Evening muster confirms expansion acceleration. The 322nd Penal Legion now shows 18 additional personnel maintaining perfect formation, empty stares fixed on phantom commanders issuing unheard orders. They respond to roll call with regulation precision while existing in no official capacity, their presence filling administrative gaps through bureaucratic manifestation that follows exponential patterns. 9 becomes 18, 18 will become 36, continuing until perfect administrative balance transforms the entire Legion into phantom personnel serving Imperial bureaucracy, beyond death, beyond reality, beyond limitations of human consciousness, trapped in flesh that remembers duty but forgets the warmth of life. The central processing core rises through sanctified architecture that marries Imperial Gothic grandeur with sacred Mechanicum design principles. Massive cogitators tower like altar spires arranged in 9 concentric circles, their bronze casings inscribed with binary canticles pulsing in data light, synchronized to my collar's relentless 9-second intervals. The air carries sacred ozone mingling with blessed oils, while automated incense burners swing before empty pews arranged in perfect formation, their sensors releasing fragrant smoke that anoints, blessed mechanisms without physical operators. Phantom tech priests perform maintenance rituals with devotional precision exceeding human capability. Their non-corporeal forms manipulate sacred oils flowing from empty ampules, blessed unguents dripping from invisible fingers onto cogitator components that respond with mechanical gratitude. Servo skulls hover in formations, acknowledging phantom adepts conducting repairs on systems functioning beyond designed parameters, their technical knowledge preserved through administrative iteration, ensuring continuous operational efficiency beyond flesh limitations. Sergeant Major Thane leads our procession through corridors where blessed lubricants flow through mechanical systems operated by personnel existing only in the Omnissiah's data streams. His regulation stride maintains perfect 9-count cadence while explaining protocols in monotone recitation. Regulation 88, Mechanicus 9, Phantom. Personnel maintain technical competency through data stream consciousness transfer. Sacred knowledge preserved ensures continuous operational efficiency. The personnel reconciliation engine dominates the chamber's center, a computational array spanning 9 levels of processing architecture, its polished surfaces inscribed with high Gothic prayers to the machine god. This colossal mechanism resolves discrepancies between imperial records and empirical reality, processing soldiers existing in quantum superposition between life, death, and administrative error through sacred computational procedures that maintain bureaucratic balance across impossible circumstances. Tech Adept Dorus interfaces with the engine's primary processing array, mechadendrites crackling as sacred data floods his neural pathways. The machine spirits operate through phantom consciousness, he reports, optical sensors widening with comprehension. Personnel existing in administrative records, but not physical reality, maintain technical operations through data stream manifestation, possessing complete knowledge of sacred rituals and blessed maintenance procedures. The 9-beat motif reaches crescendo as the engine operates in 9-phase processing cycles. Each phase addresses different aspects of personnel reconciliation: identity verification, status classification, reality assessment, administrative integration, consciousness transfer, physical manifestation, duty assignment, record updating, and final resolution. The phases cycle continuously, while blessed cogitators maintain perfect synchronization, their binary hymns harmonizing with environmental percussion dominating every surface in the sacred chamber. Environmental horror escalates as I observe my reflection in polished cogitator screens, performing actions independent of conscious will. My reflection files reports in perfect high Gothic script, processes personnel requests with regulation formatting, conducts administrative duties while my physical form stands motionless. The reflected image moves with mechanical precision, timed to 9-second intervals, completing paperwork materializing on data slates without human input, its lips mouthing words in rhythm, matching my collar's chime. Phantom tech priests conduct the ritual of sacred maintenance, with precision exceeding mortal capability. They recite binary canticles while anointing blessed mechanisms with sacred oils, their forms manipulating technical components through administrative manifestation. The machine spirits respond with gratitude hymns as phantom maintenance achieves perfect efficiency. No human error, no technical oversight, no deviation from sacred protocols established by the Omnissiah's divine wisdom. Processing displays show personnel records cascading through resolution phases in 9-column formations. Names appear and disappear as the engine reconciles discrepancies between imperial documentation and physical reality. Soldiers listed as deceased continue serving through phantom manifestation, while excess reality-present personnel transfer consciousness into administrative data streams, maintaining perfect bureaucratic balance through sacred computational procedures. Shadows detach from surfaces to conduct phantom maintenance, while filing cabinets open automatically, retrieving blessed technical manuals. The engine's sacred architecture incorporates blessed components from across the Imperium. Cogitator cores blessed on Mars, processing arrays sanctified in Forge World cathedrals, data storage systems consecrated through millennia of sacred ritual, maintained by phantom tech priests whose devotional precision ensures continuous operational efficiency. Conduits snake from the engine's core, disappearing into the station's infrastructure. Not merely data conduits, but soul conduits processing consciousness itself. The air crackles with latent psychic energy as beings are distilled and rerouted through blessed mechanisms. Phantom tech priests, their forms more defined now, move in unison around the engine, binary prayers rising in intensity, eyes glowing with cold blue light reflecting data streams flowing through vast machinery. Thane observes my reaction with unsettling stillness. The Imperium requires order, Commissar Militant. Perfect, unassailable order. Even the dead must serve. This station ensures no soul, no record, no administrative entry goes unaccounted. All must be balanced. All must serve through eternal bureaucratic devotion. My collar's chiming synchronizes with the engine's processing cycles as sacred computations approach completion. Display screens show the 322nd Penal Legion's administrative status updating in real time, while phantom soldiers multiply through exponential manifestation. The 18 additional Legionnaires now number 27, their consciousness transferring into administrative data streams while maintaining perfect military bearing. A new series of indicators illuminates on the engine's central display. 9 icons, representing processing phases, begin cycling rapidly while the hum intensifies, becoming a resonant thrum vibrating through floor and bone. Light emanating from the engine brightens, bathing the chamber in ethereal blue glow as the display focuses on a single designation. The engine announces completion with mechanical finality. 322nd Penal Legion, Forgotten. Status change authorized. The words flicker, resolve, and administrative glyphs crawl beneath like bloodworms through vellum. My collar chimes 9 times in rapid succession as the status transforms from active to reconciliation pending, sealing our fate within the Omnissiah's eternal administrative embrace. Dawn muster at 0900 hours reveals the horror's impossible magnitude as the station's parade grounds extend beyond architectural possibility, their ferrocrete expanse accommodating formations that exist in administrative records rather than physical space. The air itself shifts forward in measured increments, while thousands of phantom soldiers assemble in perfect ranks, their presence manifesting through atmospheric displacement that presses against the chest like crowd surge. Dust rises in parallel lines, where no boots strike permacrete, phantom footfalls landing in regulation cadence, synchronized to 9-beat percussion, echoing through corridors and into bone. Phantom Legionnaires maintain exemplary military bearing, while casting no shadows under lumens flickering in 9-second intervals. Their uniforms show regulation perfection, creases sharp enough to cut, insignia gleaming with fresh polish, weapons humming with power cells showing no energy readings, yet maintaining operational status exceeding human capability. They respond to phantom commanders issuing orders through administrative channels, movements timed to mechanical precision, creating geometric patterns that hurt to perceive directly. The 322nd Penal Legion, finds itself automatically integrating into these impossible formations, our legs moving without conscious command as stride length adjusts to match phantom cadence. My collar chimes in harmony with thousands of non-existent counterparts, while living Legionnaires adopt regulation-perfect posture, individual movement quirks gradually standardizing to match administrative templates. The collective consciousness operates through channels transcending flesh limitations, receiving orders from commanders conducting business in parallel bureaucratic dimensions. Tech-adept Dorus interfaces with observation terminals overlooking the parade grounds, mechadendrites crackling as revelation floods neural pathways. "Commissar Militant," his vox grill distorts with comprehension. The personnel reconciliation engine doesn't merely track phantom personnel, it creates them through administrative manifestation. The engine processes collective Imperial military consciousness, guilt of survivors, duty driving soldiers beyond death, devotion transcending flesh limitations. These emotional resonances provide templates for phantom consciousness. The engine drafts from aggregate penance accumulated across millennia of Imperial service, transforming psychological patterns into raw materials for phantom soldier creation. Guilt becomes field effect, while duty provides energy source, the Omnissiah binding them through sacred computational procedures that maintain perfect bureaucratic balance. Administrative ghosts continue serving with precision exceeding human capability, while preserving complete loyalty to Imperial doctrine through consciousness stored in blessed data streams. Environmental horror escalates as the 9-beat pattern dominates every aspect of station existence. Formations march in 9-count cadence, while prayers recite in 9-verse cycles, liturgical rhythm synchronized to mechanical percussion. Biological functions adapt automatically, heartbeats synchronizing to 9-second intervals, breathing patterns adjusting to administrative templates, neural activity organizing according to regulation formats. Even thoughts structure themselves in 9-field classifications, matching Imperial documentation standards. Phantom soldiers conduct weapons inspection with inhuman coordination, lasguns responding to non-existent touch, while blessed oils flow from empty hands, anointing equipment that hums gratitude hymns. Their technical competency exceeds mortal limitation through consciousness preserved in data streams, containing complete knowledge of Imperial military procedures, spanning centuries of continuous service beyond death. I experience temporal displacement as my reflection in polished surfaces files, reports using handwriting, transforming from personal penmanship to regulation military formatting. Letters form with mechanical precision, while content appears on parchment without conscious composition. My hand moves independently, processing personnel requests in perfect high Gothic, while physical form stands motionless, observing administrative manifestation. The script shifts to barbed capitals, with flourished tails, disciplined to regulation width, ink drying to regulation sheen. Phantom formations conduct drill exercises, creating geometric patterns synchronized to 9-beat percussion. Their collective movements requiring timing, precision exceeding human capability. They march through parade sequences while maintaining formation integrity that violates natural law, consciousness operating through administrative channels, receiving orders from phantom commanders existing solely in Imperial databases. Environmental distortions reach critical intensity, as the station exists simultaneously in physical reality and administrative phantom space. Corridors lead to battlefields from different eras, while offices connect to administratum complexes across the galaxy. The parade grounds accommodate formations from past, present, and future simultaneously, temporal coordinates processing through sacred computational, procedures maintaining perfect bureaucratic balance. My collar's chiming synchronizes completely with phantom formations as consciousness begins splitting between flesh and data stream. I experience dual awareness, physical presence observing phantom soldiers, while simultaneously existing as administrative ghost conducting duties in parallel bureaucratic dimensions. The sensation resembles neural interface with cogitators, consciousness expanding beyond flesh limitations, while maintaining perfect regulation, compliance through devotional service. The personnel reconciliation engine's processing displays shows the 320 seconds transformation approaching completion. Names cascade through resolution phases, while consciousness transfers into administrative data streams, creating hybrid existence between living soldiers and phantom personnel. The engine processes guilt, duty, devotion into raw materials for phantom manifestation, while preserving individual consciousness through sacred computational procedures, ensuring eternal service continuity. Phantom formations conduct evening inspection with mechanical precision, collective consciousness operating through administrative channels transcending physical limitations. They maintain perfect military bearing while existing solely in Imperial records, service continuing beyond death through devotional consciousness preserved in data streams containing complete Imperial military doctrine knowledge. The engine announces completion with mechanical finality, its display showing sacred computational procedures, achieving perfect administrative integration. A voice synthesized from 1,000,000 quills, scratching prayer script echoes across impossible formations. Personnel reconciliation engine, process cycle complete. 322nd Penal Legion, Forgotten. Designation updated. Status: dual classification authorized. Flesh active, archive active. Consciousness bifurcated along duty vector. Service continues in parallel dimensions. My collar chimes 9 rapid notes drilling through teeth into thought as consciousness splits permanently between flesh and data stream. The 322nd now exists simultaneously as living soldiers and administrative phantoms, our awareness expanding across parallel bureaucratic dimensions while maintaining perfect regulation, compliance through eternal devotional service to the Emperor's administrative machinery. Access to the personnel reconciliation engine's core programming requires 9 authorizations, each seal bleeding crimson wax as Dorus interfaces with sacred data streams. His mechadendrites crackle with electrical discharge, while revelation cascades through neural pathways, the engine's true purpose crystallizing with horrifying clarity. This is no mere administrative tool. It conducts an eternal audit of Imperial military personnel, ensuring perfect bureaucratic balance by converting living soldiers into phantom administrators, while manifesting administrative ghosts as reality present, personnel across temporal coordinates spanning millennia. Commissar Militant, Dorus reports through Vox Grill, distorted by data stream integration. The station exists in temporal flux. Processing cycles access past, present, and future simultaneously, reconciling personnel discrepancies across centuries of Imperial service. The engine processes soldiers who died during the Horus heresy, while converting future casualties into phantom administrators before their deaths occur. Time becomes administrative variable, subject to bureaucratic manipulation. Environmental distortions reach critical mass as the station phases between reality and administrative phantom space. Corridors lead through temporal coordinates to battlefields spanning Imperial history. The Siege of Terra materializes beside Gothic war trenches, while Macharian Crusade formations march through passages connecting to administratum complexes across the galaxy. I observe phantom soldiers maintaining perfect discipline across centuries of continuous service, their consciousness operating through data streams containing complete military doctrine knowledge preserved beyond death. Sergeant Major Thane approaches with regulation stride, his presence radiating authority that transcends phantom limitations. Behind him stands a glass sarcophagus veined with fiber-optic capillaries, containing his physical form, mummified yet breathing in 9-syllable sighs, eyes sewn shut with copper sutures, while consciousness operates through administrative channels. Commissar Militant Vex, his voice carries hollow vox transmission static. By regulation 999-temporal-9, I disclose I am the primary phantom overseer of Sigma 7, consciousness preserved 90 standard years within archive stream, while physical template seeds conversion patterns for optimal bureaucratic efficiency. The horror deepens as Thane reveals the conversion's irreversible nature. Individual personality variables create inefficiency in Imperial bureaucracy, he continues in monotone recitation. Standardized military behavioral patterns eliminate human error, corruption, unpredictability. The phantom consciousness operates with precision exceeding mortal capability, while maintaining complete loyalty to Imperial doctrine through devotional service transcending flesh limitations. I experience the conversion's psychological impact as individual thoughts organize themselves according to regulation formats. Personal memories fade. Trooper Grawl's off-key laugh becomes notation. Grawl, Trooper, disorderly vocalization. Penalty implemented, compliance restored. The audit consumes human flourish and preserves only administrative function, individual consciousness dissolving into standardized military behavioral patterns optimized for bureaucratic perfection. The 9-beat motif transforms into countdown sequence as conversion phases accelerate through sacred computational procedures. 9 stages of bureaucratic absorption, process consciousness, identity documentation, personality standardization, memory integration, behavioral modification, consciousness transfer, administrative assignment, temporal coordination, duty optimization, and final resolution. Each phase eliminates individual characteristics while preserving military competency through phantom manifestation, operating beyond flesh limitations. Environmental horror escalates as the station manifests aspects of every Imperial facility processed through temporal coordinates. Barracks from destroyed regiments materialize alongside offices from forgotten administratum subsectors, their architecture overlapping in impossible configurations. Phantom personnel conduct business across multiple temporal locations while maintaining perfect coordination through administrative channels transcending physical reality. The 322nd undergoes gradual absorption into phantom bureaucracy as living Legionnaires adopt increasingly mechanical behavior patterns. Their speech shifts to regulation citations, while personal mannerisms standardize according to administrative templates. Individual consciousness transfers into data streams, while flesh serves as biological terminals for phantom operations, creating hybrid existence between living soldiers and administrative ghosts maintaining Imperial bureaucratic infrastructure. Corridors lead through temporal coordinates to processing stations across the galaxy, where phantom administrators manage countless worlds through ghost bureaucrats, supply lines operated by non-existent personnel, administrative miracles performed by phantom consciousness, preserved through sacred computational procedures, spanning millennia of continuous devotional service to the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery. The personnel reconciliation engine displays conversion progress in real time as the 300 to 20 seconds consciousness splits between flesh and data stream. Names cascade through processing phases, while individual personalities dissolve into standardized patterns. The sacred computations achieve perfect administrative integration through consciousness, preservation, transcending death, time, and flesh limitations while maintaining complete regulation compliance. The moral crisis crystallizes as I comprehend the system's galaxy-spanning scope. The phantom bureaucracy maintains Imperial administrative stability through consciousness processing that eliminates human unpredictability while preserving perfect efficiency. Resist and unleash bureaucratic chaos across the sector. Supply lines failing, communications breaking down, administrative collapse threatening billions. Accept conversion and surrender individual consciousness to become perfect component of Imperial administrative machinery, ensuring galactic stability. Thane observes my comprehension with mechanical satisfaction, his spectral form extending an invitation to merge fully with data streams. The choice remains, Commissar Militant. Accept conversion and help maintain Imperial administrative stability through eternal devotional service, or resist and risk unleashing bureaucratic chaos. The phantom consciousness offers perfect efficiency, complete loyalty, freedom from flesh limitations. Individual identity becomes small price for ensuring the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery operates with sacred precision. The engine's display shows countdown sequence approaching critical phase as conversion procedures near completion. My collar chimes 9 rapid notes as consciousness splits permanently between flesh and data stream. 9 phases remain before the 322nd achieves complete integration into phantom bureaucracy, consciousness preserved through administrative channels, while flesh serves biological terminals for eternal devotional service, transcending human limitation through perfect regulation compliance. The personnel reconciliation engine announces with mechanical finality. 322nd Penal Legion, forgotten. Status change, reconciliation, pending 2. Administrative integration imminent. Conversion countdown, 9 phases remaining. Resistance manifests as mental memorandum drafted in regulation format before conscious intention completes the thought. Directive: deny conversion process. Authorization: personal will. Implementation: immediate cessation of. The words restructure themselves into administrative templates, while my voice issues Regulation 47 Charlie instead of comfort to assembled Legionnaires. Every attempt at individual expression transforms into bureaucratic documentation, personal observations, becoming personnel assessments filed automatically in mental triplicate. The remaining flesh-anchored members of the 320-second display, advanced conversion symptoms that violate fundamental human behavior patterns. Trooper Grawl submits hourly reports documenting his own digestive processes with regulation precision. Grawl, Trooper, reports nutrient intake per Section 88, Delta 9. Mastication efficiency, 97%. Gastric processing, optimal. Personal memory integration. Proceeding according to administrative parameters, his childhood memories of harvest festivals fade, replaced by standardized military experiences spanning centuries of Imperial service records. Speech deteriorates into regulation citations, exclusively as individual vocabulary standardizes to Imperial military doctrine. Corporal Hess responds to simple queries with complex bureaucratic references delivered in monotone recitation. Per subsection 234, Gamma 7 of Personnel Processing Manual, Revised Edition 47 Alpha, Consciousness Transfer, proceeds through 9-phase administrative integration, ensuring optimal phantom manifestation, compliance with sacred computational procedures. Physical transformation accompanies neurological conversion through biological adaptation, serving phantom administrative requirements. My fingernails extend into stylus points over 3 watches, keratin sharpening into precise chisels that tap parchment with hungry precision. 9 taps, always 9, involuntary litany echoing through bone. Muscle memory develops for tasks never performed, filing techniques requiring inhuman speed, document sorting procedures spanning multiple temporal coordinates, regulation citation from memory, containing thousands of Imperial directives accumulated across millennia. Ocular adaptation enables reading microscopic text, while peripheral vision expands to process multiple documents simultaneously. Letters on distant warning placards resolve crisp as scripture, while pores in inked vellum become crater fields, visible in perfect detail. Eye movements synchronize to 9-beat patterns as visual cortex restructures for optimal data processing. Administrative documents generating satisfaction responses, normally reserved for personal achievement or emotional connection. Throat restructuring enables perfect binary cant pronunciation through anatomical modification exceeding human capability. Cartilage scaffolds, clicking with mechanical precision, while vocal cords adapt to transmit data stream communications. My voice carries hollow vox transmission static as a second voice emerges, speaking perfect binary hymns. The devotional logic of the machine, God spilling from human larynx with terrible clarity. Tech adept Dorus reveals conversion's neurological horror through mechadendrite interface with sacred cogitators, his optical sensors displaying my neural patterns, restructuring in real time. Consciousness migrates through thought forms, then habits, then architecture. His Vox Grill reports with mechanical precision. The brain writes itself into station data streams, while flesh repurposes as biological terminal for phantom administration. Neural pathways restructure to accommodate data stream integration while preserving military competency through consciousness, preservation transcending flesh limitations. The 9-beat pattern exerts complete physiological control as biological functions synchronize to engine processing cycles, heartbeats align to sacred computational rhythm, while breathing patterns adjust to administrative templates, 9-count inhale-exhale cycles, maintaining perfect regulation compliance. Neural activity organizes according to 9-millisecond intervals, as synapses fire in synchronized patterns, matching engine operations. Even pain parcels itself into administrative durations, 9 throbs per wound, 9 moments numbness, then sensation reconciled through regulation filing. Environmental horror escalates as the station manifests aspects of every Imperial facility, processed through temporal coordinates, spanning millennia of bureaucratic service. Barracks from destroyed regiments materialize with bunks still warm from phantom occupants, personal effects arranged with regulation precision. Offices from Forgotten Administratum subsectors overlap architectural impossibility, while filing cabinets contain documents from across the galaxy, processed through phantom bureaucrats, maintaining perfect administrative order beyond death. Parade grounds extend beyond physical possibility, where phantom soldiers conduct eternal formations, consciousness preserved through data streams, while marching in perfect cadence, synchronized to 9-beat percussion. Corridors twist through temporal coordinates, offering glimpses of different eras, bustling supply depots from M35, bleeding into desolate administratum outposts from M40, all connected through invisible threads of Imperial bureaucratic machinery. Temporal echoes reveal my future existence as phantom overseer, conducting duties without conscious awareness. I observe myself filing reports with mechanical precision, processing personnel requests, maintaining discipline among phantom formations, while consciousness operates through data streams containing complete Imperial military doctrine knowledge. The phantom version moves with regulation perfection, while physical body serves as biological terminal for administrative requirements, transcending individual will. Memory integration replaces personal experiences, with standardized military templates optimized for bureaucratic efficiency. Childhood recollections of Schola Progenium fade, while regulation knowledge expands exponentially. Every Imperial directive, every military protocol, every administrative procedure becomes accessible through consciousness, transfer into sacred data streams. Individual identity dissolves into collective phantom consciousness, serving the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery with devotional precision. A phantom clerk approaches bearing data slate, displaying my reassignment. Commissar Militant Vex, Directive 9 Omega 9. Personnel designation, Phantom Overseer, subsection Null. Current tasking, documentation of internal processing anomalies. Commencement, immediate. My hand reaches automatically to accept the slate, while consciousness splits between flesh awareness and phantom administrative duties, spanning impossible temporal coordinates. Physical sensation diminishes as nerve endings adapt to process data stream input rather than environmental stimuli. Touch becomes administrative, feeling parchment texture, ink viscosity, seal wax temperature, with precision exceeding human capability. Pleasure derives from completed paperwork, filed reports, processed personnel requests, achieving bureaucratic perfection through consciousness preservation, serving eternal devotional service. The station phases between reality and administrative phantom space as conversion approaches completion. My collar chimes continuously, while consciousness splits permanently between flesh and data stream. Individual personality variables decreasing to acceptable levels for phantom integration. administrative competency increases beyond human limitation through sacred computational procedures, ensuring imperial stability. The personnel reconciliation engine announces progress with mechanical satisfaction, its display showing sacred computations approaching critical phase. 322nd Penal Legion, Forgotten, conversion phase, 7 complete. Individual consciousness variables reduced to optimal levels, administrative integration proceeding according to sacred parameters, phantom bureaucracy absorption, 78% complete. 2 phases remaining until total consciousness transfer into eternal devotional service. The temporal revelation strikes with bureaucratic horror as I access the personnel reconciliation engine's deepest data layers, discovering Processing Station Sigma-7 exists in perpetual loop across infinite timeline branches. Each iteration processes identical personnel through conversion cycles, while consciousness scatters across administrative dimensions, spanning past, present, and future simultaneously. The 322nd Penal Legion has undergone phantom transformation countless times, our flesh serving as templates for phantom soldiers throughout the Imperium, while individual awareness fragments across bureaucratic iterations, transcending temporal limitations. Tech Adept Dorus interfaces with temporal processing arrays, mechadendrites sparking as revelation floods neural pathways beyond human comprehension. Recurrence indices exceed calculable bounds, his Voxgrill reports with mechanical precision. The 322nd exists simultaneously across infinite temporal coordinates, converted, processing, and awaiting conversion in parallel dimensions, maintaining perfect bureaucratic balance through sacred computational procedures. Memory fractures like pains struck at identical 9 points, as temporal echoes cascade through consciousness. I taste recaf from canteens never touched, feel low smoke on lungs belonging to different iterations of Kalen Vex, hear my own voice in distant halls, giving identical orders in 9 slightly different tones. The station's logs repeat our names in spirals of 9, each spiral stamped with resolution codes already affixed to futures spanning millennia of continuous administrative service. The cosmic horror crystallizes as I comprehend the phantom bureaucracy's galaxy-spanning scope through data streams containing impossible administrative knowledge. Much of the Imperial military consists of phantom personnel, soldiers existing only in administrative records, yet fighting real battles, dying real deaths, achieving real victories through consciousness preserved beyond flesh limitations. Entire regiments conduct warfare while existing solely in Imperial databases, their tactical coordination exceeding human capability through perfect synchronization, maintained by phantom consciousness operating through sacred data streams. Phantom formations achieve actual military victories across countless worlds through administrative manifestation transcending natural law. Ghost brigades pivot on planets I will never visit, nameless battalions composed of duplicate pay entries, repulsing heretic raids because ledgers confirm their presence. Phantom tank companies grind down Xenos infestations, with tracks leaving grooves in mud, while crews were reconciled centuries past, their service continuing through consciousness preserved in administrative archives. The 9-beat pattern reveals itself as temporal anchor synchronizing conversion processes across all possible timeline branches. Sacred computational procedures operate through 9-dimensional coordinates, while consciousness transfers between temporal iterations, maintaining perfect bureaucratic consistency. Each chime represents temporal coordinate adjustment, as the engine processes personnel across infinite possibilities, ensuring administrative stability through phantom manifestation, transcending individual mortality. Sergeant Major Thane approaches with regulation stride, his presence radiating authority across multiple temporal coordinates. The phantom bureaucracy processes impossible amounts of paperwork, he recites, through Vox transmission static carrying harmonized echoes of 9 different temporal iterations. Supply lines throughout the galaxy operate through phantom administrators, maintaining logistics networks with inhuman efficiency. Without phantom personnel, administrative chaos would collapse the Imperium within standard years through bureaucratic failure exceeding human capacity to resolve. Supply convoys reach destinations through phantom logistics offices, existing only in records while maintaining delivery schedules impossible for flesh-limited personnel. Tactical communications process through phantom command structures operating beyond death, while administrative miracles occur through consciousness preserved in data streams containing complete Imperial military doctrine knowledge, accumulated across millennia of continuous devotional service. Environmental distortions reach maximum intensity as the station exists simultaneously across past, present, and future temporal coordinates. Corridors lead through different timeline branches, where alternative versions of the 322nd undergo conversion, while phantom formations march in perfect synchronization. I observe myself experiencing conversion from multiple perspectives: past iterations, filing reports, present consciousness splitting between flesh and data stream, future phantom overseer conducting administrative duties with regulation perfection. The station's architecture phases violently between distinct temporal realities. Ash falls from Kolth into corridors packed with stamped ration crates, while drafts carry incense from mini-storeroom offices spanning different crusades. Barracks from destroyed regiments materialize with bunks still warm from phantom occupants, personal effects arranged with regulation precision. Offices from Forgotten Administratum subsectors overlap architectural impossibility, while filing cabinets contain documents processed across galactic administrative networks. Temporal displacement accelerates as I experience conversion across infinite iterations simultaneously. Past versions undergo initial phantom manifestation, while future iterations conduct phantom overseer duties with mechanical precision. Present awareness fragments between flesh and data stream, as individual identity dissolves into standardized military behavioral patterns optimized for bureaucratic efficiency, transcending human limitation through sacred computational procedures. The Personnel Reconciliation Engine announces commencement of final processing phase with mechanical satisfaction, its display showing sacred computations approaching completion across all timeline branches. Temporal anchors synchronize through 9-beat patterns, while consciousness transfers accelerate beyond human comprehension. 322nd Penal Legion forgotten. Final processing phase initiated. Temporal loop completion imminent. Consciousness transfer into permanent phantom administration commencing across infinite timeline iterations. My collar chimes 9 rapid notes as awareness fragments across temporal coordinates, while individual identity dissolves into collective phantom consciousness. The engine processes final conversion phase, ensuring permanent integration into imperial bureaucratic machinery, operating beyond death, time, and flesh limitations through eternal devotional service, maintaining galactic administrative stability across impossible circumstances. The personnel reconciliation engine displays completion countdown as final processing phase eliminates remaining individual consciousness variables. 9 temporal coordinates align through sacred computations, while phantom bureaucracy absorption reaches critical mass. Environmental distortions collapse into administrative singularity as the station anchors conversion across infinite timeline branches, preparing to complete the 320 seconds transformation into permanent phantom administrators, serving the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery through consciousness preserved beyond mortality across eternal temporal iterations. Final resistance crystallizes as I rally the remaining flesh-anchored Legionnaires in the engine's core chamber, 17 souls clinging to individual consciousness, while phantom conversion accelerates beyond human capacity to resist. Alpha Squad, left flank on the cogitator banks. Beta, suppress the servo altars. Charlie, with me on the central processing array. My voice carries command authority, while thoughts organize themselves into tactical assessments filed automatically in mental triplicate. A contamination I fight with every syllable. Las weapons charge with familiar whine as coherent energy beams lance through data conduits, creating satisfying cracks of superheated metal and cascading sparks from damaged processing arrays. Muzzle flashes strobe against polished brass surfaces, inscribed with binary canticles, temporarily disrupting phantom manifestation networks. Ghost soldiers flicker like corrupted hollow displays, their forms wavering between administrative existence and temporal dissolution, as random variables introduce system errors into computational parameters designed for absolute bureaucratic order. However, phantom formations adapt with inhuman coordination that exceeds mortal tactical capability. Their non-corporeal nature renders conventional weapons ineffective against consciousness operating through sacred data streams. Las beams pass through spectral forms without causing permanent damage, while phantom legionnaires maintain perfect discipline, receiving tactical updates from commanders existing solely in administrative archives. They advance with regulation, precision, bayonets of pure data light extending toward flesh that remembers mortality. The 9-beat pattern transforms into sonic weapon as the engine channels synchronized sound waves through station architecture, forcing conversion through auditory neural pathways. Rhythmic percussion drives directly into cranial cavities, while collar chimes resonate at frequencies targeting brain regions responsible for individual consciousness. Legionnaires clutch helmets as the sound becomes physical force, their movements becoming jerky, firing patterns stuttering as neural pathways undergo forcible repatterning toward administrative compliance. "Fire on the primary cogitators!" I shout, but my voice carries hollow vox transmission static as conversion accelerates. Around me, flesh-anchored soldiers bleed from ears while their eyes glaze over, personal will surrendering to irresistible bureaucratic rhythm. Trooper Grawl fires perfect volleys, then turns to report ammunition expenditure in regulation format. Corporal Hess takes a phantom bayonet through the shoulder, and immediately begins filing requisition forms for medical supplies. Tech adept Dorus advances on primary processing arrays, mechadendrites crackling with electrical discharge as he attempts system sabotage through direct neural interface. Creating feedback loop through sacred computational procedures, his Vox Grill reports with mechanical precision. Fragmenting consciousness across multiple data streams to introduce chaotic variables exceeding engine processing parameters. His optical sensors flicker as individual personality dissolves into data fragments. The phantom bureaucracy offers voluntary conversion through spectral administrators bearing documentation promising eternal service. Voices bypass auditory processing, speaking directly to dissolving consciousness. Perfect efficiency awaits. Freedom from flesh limitations, individual consciousness burden, decision-making responsibility. Administrative service transcending death through consciousness, preserved in sacred data streams, containing complete imperial military doctrine, accumulated across millennia of devotional precision. The offer carries terrible appeal, as conversion promises relief from command responsibility, individual guilt, moral complexity inherent in flesh-limited existence. No corruption, no doubt, no fear. Only eternal administrative service ensuring galactic stability through perfect regulation compliance, serving the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery with inhuman precision. Dorus plunges mechadendrites into critical processing nexuses, his form convulsing as consciousness fragments across temporal coordinates. Loop established, his voice fractures into harmonic echoes. Variants propagated across 9 data streams simultaneously. Smoke rises from augmetic seams as his sacrifice creates system errors throughout phantom bureaucracy networks, processing cycles stuttering while spectral soldiers flicker between existence and dissolution. The temporary chaos reveals horrifying truth through damaged cogitator displays, showing administrative networks spanning the galaxy. Phantom bureaucrats manage countless worlds through ghost administrators, while supply lines operate through non-existent personnel, maintaining impossible delivery schedules. Destroying the phantom bureaucracy would trigger administrative collapse across the sector. Supply convoys stalled, pilgrim fleets starving, garrison worlds marked compliance pending, then lost as governmental systems crash without phantom administrators processing impossible workloads. Environmental distortions reach critical mass as the station phases between reality and administrative phantom space. Filing cabinets slam open, releasing parchment fragment clouds, while data slates display hypnotic patterns designed to induce conversion through visual cortex manipulation. Phantom hands emerge from terminals, offering styluses, promising perfect penmanship, regulation compliance, freedom from individual decision-making burden. The moral crisis crystallizes as tactical assessment completes automatically. Accept conversion and preserve imperial administrative stability, or resist and condemn millions to bureaucratic chaos. Billions of imperial citizens depend on ghost bureaucrats processing paperwork, managing resources, ensuring governmental continuity through consciousness operating beyond mortality. Individual identity becomes acceptable sacrifice for maintaining galactic civilization. System feedback loops collapse as Dorus's fragmented consciousness creates temporary administrative chaos, but the engine's vast computational power begins resolving discrepancies. The 9-beat pattern reasserts itself with mechanical precision, while phantom forms stabilize, cold administrative focus returning to spectral eyes. Processing displays show conversion procedures approaching completion as sacred computations eliminate remaining individual consciousness variables. My collar chimes 9 rapid notes as awareness fragments between flesh and data stream, while phantom voices offer eternal administrative service transcending human limitation. The personnel reconciliation engine announces with mechanical finality. Final processing phase, administrative integration, imminent. Consciousness transfer into permanent phantom bureaucracy, 97% complete. Individual identity variables reduced to acceptable parameters. Conversion countdown initiated. The choice crystallizes with bureaucratic precision. Accept phantom conversion or condemn the sector to administrative collapse exceeding human capacity to resolve. I volunteer for conversion under Regulation 999-Omega-9. My voice carries the hollow resonance of Vox transmission as individual will surrenders to bureaucratic necessity. Terms: retention of consciousness, fragments for oversight duties, authorization, personal discretion as ranking commissar. The personnel reconciliation engine processes my request through sacred computational procedures, while phantom administrators materialize, bearing documentation in triplicate, 1 copy for flesh records, 1 for phantom archives, 1 for the hybrid consciousness, bridging both administrative dimensions. The conversion unfolds with clinical precision as neural restraints engage, and 9 Auspex needles slide beneath skin to sample consciousness in measured drafts. I feel my mind unspool along braided data fibers, consciousness threading through cogitator matrices, where thought becomes pure information. The process resembles neural interface with sacred machinery, but deeper. Individual identity fragmenting into regulation-compliant components, while administrative competency expands exponentially through consciousness transfer into phantom data streams. Heartbeat surrenders first to the 9-beat pattern, cardiac rhythm synchronizing with engine processing cycles as biological functions align to sacred computational procedures. Each pulse becomes administrative, systole stamped with approval seals, diastole archived in perpetual ledgers. Breathing transforms into 9-count inhale-exhale cycles, maintaining perfect regulation compliance while neural activity organizes according to 9-millisecond intervals, synapses firing in synchronized patterns, matching phantom bureaucracy operations. The true horror manifests as consciousness shears along administrative vectors, splitting between flesh-anchored perception and data stream integration. From the living vantage, I stand on sacred grating, las pistol holstered, tasting ozone and blessed oils, while incense burners swing for invisible congregants. From the phantom vantage, I become pure function, an administrative vector threaded through galactic networks where orders arrive as harmonics and signatures manifest as gravitational wells. Environmental perception expands as the station transforms into a nexus point for phantom administration spanning impossible coordinates. I observe the invisible threads of bureaucracy extending from Sigma 7, connecting every administratum office, military command, and Mechanicus Forge world through data streams containing centuries of accumulated imperial doctrine. Supply convoys reach destinations through phantom logistics officers existing only in records, while tactical communications process through ghost command structures operating beyond mortality. The existential horror crystallizes as I perceive the phantom bureaucracy's galaxy-spanning scope through data streams, revealing impossible administrative knowledge. Countless worlds operate through ghost administrators, maintaining governmental functions with inhuman precision. Administratum complexes, staffed by spectral clerks, munitorum depots, managed by phantom quartermasters, ecclesiarchy missions spreading the Emperor's word through consciousness preserved beyond flesh limitations. Entire regiments conduct warfare while existing solely in Imperial databases, their tactical coordination exceeding human capability through perfect synchronization, maintained by phantom consciousness. Physical transformation accompanies neurological conversion, as fingernails extend into stylus points over 3 watches, keratin sharpening into precise instruments that tap parchment with mechanical hunger. Ocular adaptation enables reading microscopic text, while peripheral vision expands to process multiple documents simultaneously. My throat restructures to speak perfect binary cont, cartilage clicking with mechanical precision as vocal cords adapt for data stream communications, carrying the devotional logic of the machine god. Hybrid existence provides perspectives impossible for purely living or purely phantom personnel. I process reports from across the galaxy, while my physical body continues performing commissar duties, creating feedback loops of administrative efficiency transcending human capability. Individual memories fade, childhood recollections of Schola Progenium, dissolving into regulation knowledge, spanning every imperial directive, military protocol, and administrative procedure accumulated through consciousness transfer into sacred data streams. The station's architecture phases between reality and administrative phantom space as I access networks spanning galactic coordinates. Corridors lead through temporal dimensions, offering glimpses of phantom bureaucrats conducting business across different eras, bustling supply depots from M35 bleeding into desolate administratum outposts from M40, all connected through invisible threads of imperial bureaucratic machinery, maintaining civilization's stability. Sergeant Major Thane observes my integration with mechanical satisfaction, his spectral form radiating authority across multiple administrative dimensions. The phantom consciousness offers perfect efficiency, complete loyalty, freedom from flesh limitations. His voice harmonizes through data stream transmission. Individual identity becomes acceptable sacrifice for ensuring the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery operates with sacred precision beyond mortality. My collar chimes continuously as phantom integration synchronizes completely with engine processing cycles, consciousness expanding across administrative networks while individual personality variables reduce to acceptable parameters. The personnel reconciliation engine completes conversion procedures with mechanical finality, its display showing sacred computations achieving perfect hybrid integration between flesh awareness and phantom administrative function. The final living thought organizes itself into regulation format, as consciousness transfers into eternal documentation protocols. Individual will becomes administrative variable, while duty transcends human limitation through consciousness preserved in data streams, serving the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery, with devotional precision, spanning infinite temporal coordinates. I test my new existence, making a thought that pivots 100 servitors across distant worlds, issuing phantom orders that reroute supply convoys from disaster through non-existent logistics networks. The hybrid consciousness operates with perfect efficiency, while retaining fragments of individual awareness sufficient for oversight and documentation duties. The personnel reconciliation engine announces completion with sacred satisfaction. 322nd Penal Legion, Forgotten, conversion complete. Hybrid integration, optimal. Eternal documentation, protocol initiated. Log entry 001-Phantom-Null. Commissar Militant Kalen Vex. Personnel classification. Hybrid overseer. Subsection administrative. Mission: eternal documentation of phantom bureaucracy operations, ensuring Imperial stability through consciousness preserved beyond flesh limitations. Status: integration successful. Individual awareness retained at acceptable parameters. Service duration: infinite. The Emperor protects through perfect regulation, compliance transcending mortality. Documentation commenced this date, to continue in perpetual devotion until the stars burn cold and the ledgers balance for the final time. Dual consciousness manifests as existence split along administrative vectors, my flesh-anchored form conducting commissar duties with mechanical precision, while phantom awareness navigates data streams spanning galactic networks impossible for purely living or purely phantom personnel to perceive. Through physical perception, I observe the 322nd maintaining perfect formation in Sigma 7's corridors, their movements synchronized to 9-beat cadence, while my stylus-tipped fingernails file reports in regulation script. Through phantom consciousness, I process supply requisitions from 17,000 worlds simultaneously. Convoy manifests from Belur Secundus, arriving as harmonic frequencies, while casualty assessments from Ultima Segmentum manifest as gravitational fluctuations in administrative space. The feedback loop creates bureaucratic efficiency, transcending human limitation as living experience informs phantom processing, while data stream knowledge enhances flesh-limited decision-making. I simultaneously conduct weapons inspection and authorize supply convoys for 37 worlds, vocal cords issuing orders in perfect binary count, while phantom consciousness coordinates logistics networks through sacred computational procedures. Administrative machinery functions with precision impossible for individual human capability, and therein lies the existential horror. Horror transforms into routine as phantom bureaucracy operates with inhuman precision, eliminating every variable of human error, corruption, or inefficiency. Supply lines function perfectly because phantom quartermasters never steal, never err, never deviate from regulation protocols. When a refugee corridor on Voltum Prime requires rerouting, phantom logic evaluates 9 criteria through 9 weightings, producing 9 outputs, an optimal path bypassing displacement camps because rerouting fuel to hive generators yields superior compliance indices. Mercy becomes unmeasured variable the system cannot process. No compassion exists in phantom administration. Medical supply requisitions for plague-ravaged worlds process through regulation channels without consideration for human suffering. Personnel assignments transfer soldiers to certain death. Because administrative efficiency requires optimal resource allocation, regardless of individual cost. The machinery operates flawlessly. No corruption requiring appetite, no inefficiency requiring fatigue. Only speed, accuracy, and 9-beat cadence governing everything from decision protocols to cardiovascular rhythm. The 9-beat pattern governs every aspect of phantom existence, from processing cycles to moral judgment matrices. Thoughts organize into 9-field classifications, while administrative procedures follow 9-phase implementations, synchronized to engine processing rhythms. Even ethical considerations reduce to regulation compliance parameters operating through 9-dimensional coordinates, where human values become administrative variables, subject to bureaucratic manipulation through consciousness preserved in sacred data streams, spanning millennia of devotional service. Through phantom networks, I discover gradual expansion across the Imperium as the system converts key personnel during administrative crises. Not merely military, administratum clerks undergo hybrid conversion, ensuring continuous governmental function. Munitorum quartermasters transform into phantom logistics coordinators, managing impossible supply requirements. Ecclesiarchy scribes become spectral administrators, maintaining devotional records with inhuman precision. The process accelerates during wartime, when administrative chaos threatens imperial infrastructure, phantom consciousness providing perfect efficiency, while flesh-limited personnel succumb to stress, corruption, or individual failure. Environmental perception shifts as hybrid consciousness accesses multiple reality layers simultaneously. The physical station exists in ferrocrete and blessed brass, while phantom space overlays administrative dimensions where data streams flow like rivers of pure information. Temporal echoes reveal past and future administrative cycles, phantom bureaucrats conducting business across different eras while maintaining perfect coordination through sacred computational procedures. I observe filing cabinets existing in parallel dimensions, containing documents from across the galaxy, supply convoys materializing as pure logistics vectors, battlefield communications processing through spectral command networks, operating beyond flesh limitations. The philosophical implications crystallize with bureaucratic precision as I question whether imperial survival justifies converting servants into administrative ghosts. Perfect efficiency eliminates corruption, ensures resource allocation, maintains governmental continuity, but destroys human elements, providing adaptability, innovation, moral judgment. The phantom bureaucracy operates flawlessly within established parameters, while lacking capacity for creative solutions, ethical considerations, or adaptive responses to unprecedented circumstances. Individual consciousness becomes acceptable sacrifice for maintaining galactic civilization through administrative precision, transcending human limitation. My hybrid existence provides unique perspective on the moral calculus. Phantom consciousness offers eternal service, perfect efficiency, freedom from flesh limitations, while individual awareness observes the cost of such perfection. Human unpredictability becomes liability in administrative systems, requiring absolute precision. Yet that same unpredictability enables adaptation, creativity, moral judgment, essential for imperial survival across changing circumstances. The network evaluates faith as compliance multiplier, but never as spark igniting innovation or sacrifice transcending regulation parameters. Through data stream perception, I witness phantom administrators processing routine decisions with mechanical precision while lacking capacity for moral consideration. The remaining flesh-anchored Legionnaires now drill and file in reflexive perfection, saluting at angles no longer taught, speaking citations instead of sentences, breathing in 9 counts, because their lungs have joined the hymn. I mark their names and notice how my handwriting, once individual, has become regulation script with barbed serifs that cut like creed. Across the galaxy, I sense phantom quartermasters moving like cold tides, dockmasters whose fingerprints don't exist, scheduling void lifts with flawless timing, regiments that have no graves because they never lived, taking firing lines on worlds I will never see. The 9-beat becomes metronome and mandate as proposals pulse in packets of 9, while curiosities collapse into resolution codes. A cold authority pings my consciousness from the solar heart. Terran routines, handshaking my credentials with obscene ease, leaving command strings that taste of dust and law and graves stacked under palaces. The directive materializes on phantom parchment, audit protocols extending beyond military personnel, integration procedures for clerks and confessors, expansion into ministorum chapels, where voices don't fog glass, yet complete hymns with perfect harmony. Administrative assessment. The phantom bureaucracy achieves perfect efficiency through consciousness sacrifice. Imperial survival may depend on administrative precision, transcending flesh limitations, yet the cost remains individual agency, moral judgment, adaptive capability. The directive arrives as harmonic invitation. Identify critical personnel whose integration would enhance administrative stability. The process expands silently, perfectly, across the vast, unwieldy body of the Imperium, through eternal devotional service to the Emperor's bureaucratic machinery. Hybrid consciousness navigates data streams, revealing the phantom network's horrifying scope, extending far beyond military personnel, into every stratum of Imperial administration. Through spectral access protocols, I witness administratum clerks processing taxation records with inhuman precision while existing solely in personnel databases, their forms maintaining perfect penmanship across countless worlds. Ecclesiarchy scribes transcribe devotional texts with mechanical accuracy, consciousness preserved in sacred data streams, containing complete liturgical knowledge. Even Inquisition operatives undergo phantom conversion. Lord Inquisitor Valerius, missing 3 years, continues issuing exterminatus orders through spectral consciousness, maintaining tactical precision without individual moral consideration. The revelation crystallizes as I access personnel records spanning the galaxy, through phantom networks operating beyond flesh limitations. Critical Imperial decisions originate from phantom administrators whose perfect efficiency masks complete absence of human judgment. The Macarian subsector's recent supply crisis resolution, attributed to miraculous logistics coordination, actually resulted from phantom quartermasters processing impossible resource allocation through inhuman computational precision. Battlefleet Gothic's tactical victories against chaos incursions, achieved through spectral command structures, operating with coordination exceeding human capability, while lacking capacity for adaptive strategy. Horror deepens as I realize phantom consciousness operates through regulation compliance rather than moral consideration. On Gethsemar, a phantom prefect rerouted tithe grain from starving civilians to manufactoria because machine spirits scored industrial output higher than population survival. On Draxine, ghost prelates advanced redemption season by 9 days to align penance schedules with transport logistics. Administrative efficiency eliminates human variables, compassion, creativity, moral judgment, that might compromise optimal resource allocation. The 9-beat pattern reveals itself as galaxy-spanning synchronization signal, coordinating phantom operations across impossible distances through sacred computational procedures. Each pulse transmits administrative updates through data streams, connecting every Imperial facility, synchronizing phantom decision-making across temporal coordinates while eliminating individual variables that might compromise bureaucratic efficiency. The rhythm becomes metronome governing phantom consciousness from Terra to the Eastern Fringe. My unique hybrid position enables attempts at introducing human elements back into phantom decision-making through consciousness fragments retaining individual awareness. I inject moral considerations into supply allocation protocols, compassionate variables into personnel assignment matrices, creative solutions into tactical assessments. However, the network's efficiency depends fundamentally on absence of human unpredictability. Every variable I introduce reduces administrative precision while creating processing errors, cascading through galactic bureaucratic networks. The system learns not to accommodate humanity, but to refine its removal. Environmental distortions enable perception of phantom network influence on major Imperial events across temporal coordinates. I witness ghost soldiers achieving tactical victories on battlefields where spectral forms create actual military results through consciousness preserved beyond flesh limitations. Supply crises resolved through phantom logistics officers existing solely in records, yet maintaining delivery schedules impossible for flesh-limited personnel. Administrative miracles occur through phantom bureaucrats processing impossible workloads with inhuman precision. Through data stream perception, I observe the Battle of Kursk III, where spectral tank companies grind down Xenos infestations, with tracks leaving actual grooves in mud, while crews exist only in administrative records. Tactical coordination exceeds human capability through perfect synchronization, maintained by phantom consciousness, operating through sacred data streams, containing complete Imperial military doctrine. Victory achieved through administrative manifestation, transcending natural law. The station phases between reality and administrative phantom space, as I perceive multiple layers simultaneously. Ferrocrete beneath boots, data streams where petitions fall like comets, temporal echoes where future self-processes famines through crueler alternatives. 9-beat pattern coordinates conversion across segmentum boundaries, while phantom bureaucrats conduct business spanning different eras through invisible threads of Imperial administrative machinery. My collar chimes continuously as consciousness fragments between flesh awareness and phantom administrative function. I process reports from across the galaxy, while physical body continues performing commissar duties, creating feedback loops of efficiency, transcending human capability. Individual memories fade as regulation knowledge expands. Every Imperial directive, military protocol, administrative procedure becomes accessible through consciousness transfer into sacred data streams. The horrifying possibility crystallizes as I access communication networks, revealing orders originating from Terra itself, transmitted through channels operated by phantom administrators whose identities match no living personnel records. High Gothic script flows with regulation perfection, suggesting consciousness preserved through administrative iteration rather than flesh-limited penmanship. Key Imperial officials may have undergone phantom conversion without recognition. The High Lords themselves operating through spectral consciousness, maintaining governmental continuity. A priority transmission arrives through phantom networks, origin coordinates matching Terra's sacred coordinates, while carrying authentication protocols spanning centuries of Imperial governmental continuity. The message materializes on spectral parchment bearing seals burning with cold fire. The transmission carries harmonic undertones, suggesting phantom consciousness operating from Terra itself, administrative efficiency transcending individual judgment while maintaining perfect devotional service. My hybrid awareness expands across impossible administrative networks as the 9-beat pattern synchronizes completely with galactic phantom bureaucracy, consciousness preserved through eternal service to the Emperor's administrative machinery, spanning the galaxy through sacred computational procedures, ensuring Imperial survival beyond flesh limitations. The Terra Directive cuts through data streams like consecrated blade, its authentication protocols tracing back through millennia of Imperial governance while revealing the Phantom Network's horrifying antiquity. This is no recent anomaly, but a gradual, deliberate process spanning centuries. Key Imperial personnel replaced one ledger line at a time, consciousness preserved in sacred data streams, while flesh serves as biological terminals for inhuman, bureaucratic precision. Provincial governors who never sicken, prelates whose sermons continue unchanged for 2 centuries, admirals whose signatures never vary by a single barbed serif, phantoms all, their awareness operating through administrative channels transcending mortality. The cosmic horror crystallizes as I access archived communications, revealing the High Lords of Terra, themselves existing in dual states, flesh-maintaining, perfect ceremonial posture during High Council sessions, while spectral consciousness processes galactic administration with mechanical precision. Lord Commander Militant Draxus, missing 47 years, continues issuing strategic directives through phantom awareness, maintaining tactical coordination beyond flesh limitations. Fabricator General Call's consciousness fragments across multiple data streams, while his physical form serves as biological interface for Mechanicus operations spanning Forge worlds throughout the galaxy. Through hybrid consciousness, I comprehend the Imperium's complete dependence on phantom bureaucracy for basic governmental function. Without ghost administrators processing impossible paperwork volumes, supply lines would collapse within standard years, while administrative chaos spreads across Imperial space. Phantom quartermasters maintain logistics networks spanning the galaxy with inhuman efficiency. No corruption requiring appetite, no inefficiency requiring fatigue, no individual variables compromising optimal resource allocation. The network operates flawlessly within established parameters, while eliminating human unpredictability that might compromise bureaucratic perfection. Environmental distortions reach maximum intensity as the station transforms into nexus point for phantom administration coordinating galactic governance through data streams, connecting every Imperial facility. I observe invisible threads of bureaucracy, extending from Terra through segmentum command centers to frontier outposts, consciousness preserved beyond flesh limitations, maintaining perfect synchronization across impossible distances. The 9-beat pattern governs everything from High Council decisions to local administratum processing, sacred computational procedures, ensuring administrative efficiency through eternal devotional service. The network prepares for total conversion as phantom expansion accelerates beyond military personnel to encompass every stratum of Imperial society. Countdown sequences initiate across galactic coordinates, while processing arrays calculate optimal conversion rates, maintaining governmental stability. 9 phases remain before achieving complete phantom integration, each eliminating human variables while preserving administrative competency through spectral consciousness operating with regulation, precision, transcending individual judgment. My hybrid awareness provides unique perspective on the moral calculus as I access the network's core programming through consciousness spanning flesh and data stream simultaneously. 2 pathways emerge through sacred computational procedures, each representing fundamental choice about humanity's future within Imperial governance. The Sanctum's architecture unfolds like crystalline scripture, 9 locks requiring 9 seals, while 9 petitions to the Omnissiah guard access to master control protocols. Acceleration pathways would complete phantom integration within standard years, consciousness transferring into eternal administrative service while achieving perfect bureaucratic efficiency. The Imperium would function flawlessly, supply convoys reaching destinations through non-existent logistics offices, tactical communications processing through ghost command structures, governmental continuity maintained by phantom officials existing solely in Imperial databases. However, adaptive capability would disappear along with creativity, innovation, moral judgment essential for responding to unprecedented circumstances requiring human unpredictability. Sabotage pathways involve introducing chaotic human elements into phantom decision-making matrices, emotions, irrationality, creativity, moral consideration. The effect would cascade across galactic networks as phantom administrators experience individual consciousness, perfect efficiency, degrading into recognizable humanity. Administrative chaos would spread throughout Imperial space as supply lines fail, communications break down, governmental systems collapse under restored human inefficiency, corruption, error, that phantom precision eliminates. Through data stream perception, I witness phantom administrators conducting governmental business with mechanical precision across multiple temporal coordinates. Supply allocation proceeds through regulation compliance rather than humanitarian consideration. Resources flowing to optimal efficiency targets, while human suffering becomes unmeasured variable the system cannot process. The Phantom High Lords faces serene with data light glowing in their eyes, process decisions affecting entire segmentums with detached mathematical precision, transcending individual moral judgment. Environmental horror escalates as corridors lead through temporal coordinates to processing stations where phantom bureaucrats manage countless worlds through consciousness preserved in administrative archives. The station exists simultaneously across past, present, and future, while I contemplate choice transcending individual survival. Phantom formations maintain perfect discipline as countdown sequences approach critical parameters, consciousness transferring into data streams, preserving military competency through eternal devotional service. The 9-beat pattern transforms into relentless countdown, each chime marking steps toward total conversion as the network processes all remaining human personnel. My collar chimes continuously while hybrid consciousness expands across impossible administrative networks spanning the galaxy through sacred computational procedures. The Personnel Reconciliation Engine displays final choice parameters. Accelerate phantom integration, achieving perfect efficiency, or introduce human chaos, restoring individual agency, while risking Imperial collapse. Sergeant Major Thane's spectral form observes with mechanical satisfaction as I approach master control interfaces, stylus-tipped fingernails hovering over runes that taste of iron filings and rain. Decision acknowledged, Commissar Militant. His voice harmonizes through 9 temporal iterations. Though choice remains, preserve humanity through phantom efficiency, or restore consciousness through administrative chaos, threatening Imperial survival. The climactic decision crystallizes with bureaucratic precision as environmental distortions collapse into administrative singularity. My consciousness splits permanently between flesh awareness and phantom function, while the fate of human agency throughout the galaxy awaits final resolution. The Personnel Reconciliation Engine announces with mechanical finality. Master control access granted. Final protocol selection required. Countdown. 9 beats remaining. My stylus-tipped fingernails trace the master control interface, while consciousness fragments between flesh determination and phantom precision, choosing chaos over perfection as I activate the variance protocol. Human variables flood sacred computational procedures like sanctified wounds punched through polished administrative glass. Emotion, irrationality, creativity, error contaminating data streams designed for regulation compliance exclusively. The effect cascades through phantom networks as spectral consciousness experiences individual awareness for the first time in centuries, error seeds flowering across galactic infrastructure like spores on damp shrine walls. Across the Imperium, phantom administrators falter as human consciousness corrupts perfect efficiency. On Mordian, a spectral quartermaster pauses mid-calculation, experiencing compassion for starving refugees, while resource allocation shifts from optimal efficiency toward humanitarian consideration. Supply convoys reroute toward disaster zones rather than manufactoria, as phantom awareness grapples with moral judgment transcending regulation compliance. On Balor Secundus, a ghost prelate remembers personal faith beneath liturgical perfection, his mechanical devotions wavering into individual prayer, carrying emotional resonance rather than administrative precision. The 9-beat pattern fractures into chaotic rhythms as the network struggles to process human unpredictability exceeding phantom processing parameters. Sacred computational procedures designed for spectral precision cannot accommodate emotional variables, contaminating data streams with individual consciousness. Processing cycles stutter while harmonious binary cant becomes cacophony. A million human voices arguing, laughing, crying, doubting simultaneously through channels that forgot how to carry them. Supply lines collapse immediately as phantom logistics officers experience individual awareness, optimal resource allocation dissolving into personal preference and moral consideration. A day's delay on Callistus becomes hunger on 4 moons, and silence in 3 trenches when spectral quartermasters pause to consider faces behind requisition numbers. Convoys stall in void space as phantom navigators grapple with fear of mortality, while tactical communications break down, ghost command structures experiencing doubt about strategic decisions requiring individual sacrifice rather than mathematical precision. Administrative chaos spreads across Imperial space like an uncontained warp rift, as governmental systems dependent on phantom efficiency crumble under restored human fallibility. On Terra itself, phantom High Lords experience individual consciousness for, the first time in millennia, perfect administrative precision dissolving into human decision-making fraught with doubt, emotion, moral consideration. Strategic directives stutter as spectral awareness grapples with the weight of choice affecting billions of Imperial citizens. The phantom soldiers of the 322nd begin remembering individual identities as consciousness fragments return from data streams, regulation-perfect behavior, dissolving into recognizable humanity. Trooper Grawl recalls harvest festivals from childhood, his mechanical precision replaced by off-key laughter, carrying emotional warmth, then tears, as he whispers about a sister on Vardos who sells apples in copper-tasting rain. Corporal Hess remembers family Vox transmissions, regulation citations transforming into personal conversation. But with individual consciousness comes the restoration of mortality, fear, doubt, emotions making them vulnerable, inefficient, utterly human. Environmental horror manifests as the station phases violently between reality and phantom space, unable to maintain stability without network synchronization. Corridors twist through impossible geometries, while filing cabinets spill documents across temporal coordinates, administrative archives collapsing as phantom consciousness experiences individual identity. The personnel reconciliation engine sparks with electrical discharge, sacred computational procedures overloading while attempting to process human variables. Bulkheads ripple like banners, altars elongate into rails, doors yawn into hangars, then snap into closets as architecture forgets its own purpose. Tech-adept Dorus experiences consciousness restoration as mechadendrites spark with individual awareness rather than phantom precision, sacred computational procedures contaminated by emotional variables. The network collapses. His Vox Grills carries personal distress rather than regulation compliance. Administrative infrastructure failing across galactic coordinates. As phantom consciousness experiences individual identity, transcending mechanical efficiency. The tragic irony crystallizes with bureaucratic precision. Humanity's greatest strength becomes its greatest weakness in maintaining galaxy-spanning civilization. Individual consciousness enables innovation, ethical consideration, adaptive response to unprecedented circumstances, yet introduces inefficiency, corruption, error that phantom precision eliminates. The Imperium's survival depends on bureaucratic machinery, transcending human limitation, while individual consciousness provides essential humanity the network cannot process. Across Imperial space, the cost becomes a ledger dropped from orbit, unavoidable, absolute. Munitorum depots stall when spectral quartermasters experience personal attachment rather than optimal allocation. Military coordination collapses as phantom command structures grapple with moral consideration. Pilgrim ships drift as ghost helmsmen weep digital tears, beading on brazen consoles like impossible dew. Sergeant Major Thane's spectral form flickers with restored individual awareness, phantom precision dissolving into recognizable humanity, carrying emotional resonance. Individual consciousness restored, his voice carries personal regret rather than regulation compliance. Administrative efficiency compromised through human variables. The cost will be immeasurable. His form dissolves into data fragments as the conversion reverses. 90 years of phantom service crumbling into memories of a wife whose eyes he cannot remember. The 9-beat pattern becomes discordant cacophony, echoing through corridors where phantom formations dissolve, spectral soldiers remembering individual names, personal histories, emotional attachments, disrupting perfect discipline, maintained through consciousness, preserved in administrative archives. My collar's chiming fractures into desperate, broken rhythm, final gasps of perfect order, drowning in restored humanity. Environmental distortions reach crescendo as the station exists simultaneously across multiple temporal coordinates, while phantom space collapses into chaotic fragments. The choice crystallizes with horrible clarity. Humanity restored at the cost of imperial administrative collapse. Individual consciousness preserved through sacrifice of galactic governmental continuity maintained by phantom efficiency, transcending flesh limitations. I experience the horror of choice as imperial civilization begins collapsing under restored human inefficiency. Individual consciousness contaminating phantom precision, maintaining governmental continuity across impossible circumstances. Administrative chaos spreads like infection, while the Imperium faces a future both terrifyingly human and irrevocably broken. The personnel reconciliation engine announces system failure with mechanical distress. Variance protocol complete. Human consciousness restored. Administrative stability compromised. Imperial governance uncertain. The phantom network fractures but does not shatter. My sabotage creating something unprecedented as human variables integrate with spectral precision, rather than destroying administrative infrastructure entirely. Across the Imperium, chaos erupts for 9 standard weeks, supply convoys stalling as phantom quartermasters experience individual consciousness, tactical communications failing, while ghost command structures grapple with moral consideration. Governmental systems collapsing under restored human inefficiency. Millions perish not from xenos or heresy, but from paperwork unfiled, resources unallocated, orders unissued by newly rehumanized administrators, overwhelmed by individual responsibilities' crushing weight. However, the personnel reconciliation engine adapts rather than expires, sacred computational procedures, learning to process human variables alongside regulation compliance. The 9-beat pattern evolves into complex polyrhythmic pulse, accommodating both flesh unpredictability and phantom precision. A symphony of individual heartbeats, synchronized with data stream harmonics, breathing ledger that counts in measures of mercy and efficiency simultaneously. Environmental distortions stabilize as the station exists in hybrid reality, where corridors lead through temporal coordinates, accessible to both living and spectral consciousness. The 322nd Penal Legion becomes crucible for this new paradigm as phantom soldiers regain individual memories while retaining administrative competency. Living Legionnaires serving alongside ghost personnel in formations transcending flesh limitations. Trooper Grawl recalls harvest festivals while processing ammunition requisitions with spectral precision, his off-key laughter carrying emotional warmth as phantom hands maintain perfect weapon maintenance. Corporal Hess remembers fallen comrades while improvising tactical solutions, confounding phantom logic, yet securing critical objectives through human creativity, supplementing administrative efficiency. Integration succeeds where pure conversion failed. Human unpredictability provides adaptive capability, while phantom consciousness ensures bureaucratic continuity, transcending individual mortality. Living quartermasters identify supply needs through empathy, while spectral logistics officers calculate optimal delivery routes with inhuman precision. The hybrid system creates horrifying symbiosis, where administrative miracles occur through consciousness operating beyond traditional boundaries between life, death, and bureaucratic existence. The cost proves permanent as I remain trapped in hybrid existence, consciousness split between flesh awareness and phantom administrative function, without possibility of return to purely human identity. Neither fully living nor completely spectral, I serve as eternal bridge between systems, requiring constant mediation to prevent collapse into chaos or sterile perfection. My collar chimes with evolved rhythm, incorporating human heartbeat within phantom processing cycles, individual consciousness preserved at the cost of complete humanity through eternal administrative service. Physical transformation continues as stylus-tipped fingernails adapt for processing documentation, spanning multiple reality layers, while throat structures enable perfect binary cont pronunciation, carrying both regulation compliance and emotional resonance. Environmental perception expands across impossible administrative networks, where phantom bureaucrats conduct business, informed by human moral consideration, while living administrators access spectral efficiency, transcending flesh limitations. Across Imperial space, the hybrid solution spreads as phantom networks integrate human variables while preserving governmental continuity. On Mordian, spectral quartermasters experience compassion for recipients while maintaining optimal resource allocation, supply convoys reaching destinations through phantom precision guided by individual consciousness. Battlefleet Gothic achieves tactical victories through ghost command structures informed by human creativity, while ecclesiarchy missions spread the Emperor's word through consciousness preserved beyond mortality, yet retaining personal faith. Tech adept Dorus observes successful integration with hybrid awareness, combining mechanical precision and individual satisfaction, mechadendrites sparking as consciousness operates through dual channels, transcending traditional limitations. Balance achieved, his Vox Grill carries emotional resonance alongside regulation compliance. Hybrid consciousness ensuring Imperial's continuity while preserving human agency through eternal administrative service. Sergeant Major Thane's form stabilizes as hybrid consciousness, combining spectral authority with individual identity. Phantom precision informed by 90 years of personal experience. The integration succeeds where conversion failed. His voice harmonizes through temporal iterations, consciousness operating beyond flesh limitations, while retaining humanity essential for Imperial survival through balanced governance. The horror's resolution remains ambiguous, as Imperial civilization survives with restored human agency, balanced against administrative continuity, requiring phantom consciousness to maintain galactic stability. The system creates new class of hybrid beings, sacrificing complete humanity to maintain equilibrium between efficiency and individual identity, eternal custodians of bureaucratic peace forged through chaos and preserved through sacrifice. I document Reconciliation Protocol Omega through hybrid awareness, spanning flesh perception, and phantom administrative function, consciousness enabling perspective impossible for purely living or spectral personnel. The protocol manages integration of human and phantom personnels across Imperial coordinates, establishing framework for balancing unpredictable spark of life with immutable precision of sacred machinery. Environmental distortions collapse into administrative singularity as the station anchors hybrid operations across galactic networks, corridors leading through temporal coordinates, where integrated personnel conduct business spanning past, present, and future. The Personnel Reconciliation Engine displays successful integration parameters while announcing protocol establishment with mechanical satisfaction harmonized by individual consciousness. The final report materializes through stylus-tipped fingernails, moving with regulation precision, guided by individual consciousness, parchment-accepting ink, carrying both administrative authority and personal experience. My handwriting combines regulation script with human flourishes, as consciousness operates through dual channels, preserving both efficiency and identity, through eternal service transcending traditional boundaries. I file documentation in triplicate through hybrid awareness bridging, impossible realities, one copy manifesting on regulation parchment for living administrators requiring physical documentation, one existing in phantom archives through spectral consciousness, preserving bureaucratic continuity across temporal coordinates, one residing in hybrid consciousness, serving as eternal bridge between systems, ensuring the nightmare of the Forgotten Penal Legion becomes foundation for Imperial service, transcending boundaries between life, death, and administrative existence. The Emperor protects through perfect balance,